Здравствуйте, с вами снова Саша Иванова, мы снова проходим Mass Effect. Значит, в прошлой серии... Ай-яй-яй, шевелит всё. В прошлой серии мы с вами побывали в святилище. Ну и в чистилище фактически тоже побывали. Вот это пока что все, что у нас с вами есть. Ну, мое мнение, нормально так. Значит, у нас просто появился 6-й флот Альянса. И больше не с Цербером тоже обновилась, потому что появилась Миранда Лоусон. Ну, мое мнение, неплохо, весьма неплохо. Значит, это будет первая серия, посвященная дополнениям. Конечно же, не последняя, потому что дополнений много и они яркие.
Those bastards aren't human anymore. Commander, it seems Tally's taking what happened on Horizon hard. She's in the lounge if you want to check on her.
Ладно. Давайте-ка сходим к Тали. Ой, кажется, я промахнулась слегка. Мститель, да, Мститель. Я в одной из прошлых серий он мне надрал задницу. Так. Куда я иду? Давайте, собственно, направляться дальше. А где, кстати?
Can't believe what you found down there. The whole thing was so calculated, using hope to lure people to their deaths, or worse. I can't understand it. And you know, I'm glad I can't. It makes me feel human.
Так, идем к Тали. И, кажется, Тали напилась.
Shepard! Want a drink? I'm toasting Miranda, I think.
How are you getting drunk?
Very carefully. Taurian brandy, triple filtered, then introduced into the suit through an emergency induction port.
That's a straw, Tally.
Emergency induction port. It's actually getting a little harder to get it into the slot. I think that means it's working. She was so rude. What did Jack call her? Cerberus cheerleader? With her perfect genes and that attitude and still, she got it done. She stopped her father.
Ты чего?
I didn't realize this would be so hard on you.
I didn't like her. Keela, she was such a bitch. But I respected her. Sometimes that's better than liking. She did whatever it took to stop her father. She never gave in to him, never changed herself to please him.
Ты странный.
Don't me. You sound like a vulture.
Seeing a bit of yourself in Miranda fighting her father?
I spent my life trying to live up to him. Then making up for his mistakes, doing what he'd have wanted.
It's never that easy.
When do we get to stop reacting to our parents and start living for ourselves?
Какие удобные двумя пальцами держать стакан.
The answer to that one's at the bottom of that glass.
I might need help with the induction straw. Port. You know.
Here's to Miranda.
Nice job, you genetically perfect Cerberus cheerleader Boschtet. Kila Solai.
Бывает. Да, Таля с склонностью к лесбиянству. Что-то. Все, я больше никому не нужна сегодня. Давайте посмотрим, может у меня как дополнение Как
I've
дела?
studied Protheans my entire life. If I'd been shown the beacon on Thessia earlier,
You would have needed Shepard's cipher to comprehend it.
I still could have learned from it. Instead, my mother hid the galaxy's most important archaeological find from me. It must have been such a joke to her when I became a Prothean researcher.
The penalties for withholding Protean technology are among the...
Погодите.
Your mother's motives may have been simply to shield you.
Perhaps. Thank you, Edie. I hadn't considered that.
Короче,
Harshest in council space.
ну, не знаю, может, прочитайте сами. Hi.
How's Miranda?
She'll make a recovery.
I'm not surprised. Miranda always struck me as a driven woman. I'm glad she made it.
Да, она бодрячком.
Please enjoy your day.
Спасибо, Глиф. Ты такая няшка. Я до сих пор помню, как этот был на каком-то концерте. Был какой-то такой фон, похожий на Глифа. Потом приходилось объяснять, почему я смеялась. Странное чувство.
Any word from your family?
They made it off Palaven. It was tight, but they're okay.
That's fantastic. That must be a weight off your shoulders.
It is. Though this being a war, one burden replaces another.
What happened?
I just had to make a tough call with the Primarch. He said our fleets are being decimated, so I advised him to cease all offensive operations against the Reapers.
A full retreat?
The only way to save Palaven now is to hold our ships back for the Crucible. But if I'm wrong, then a lot of other Turian families won't be as lucky as mine.
That's a hell of a gamble. No other options?
If there are, I can't see them. It all comes down to the Crucible now.
And ruthless calculus.
How are you holding up, Shepard? This all has to be taking a toll.
There's only so much fight in a person. Only so much death you can take
Before a certain Turian with no romantic skills to speak of tries to cheer you up.
Cheer? Coming from you?
Mood swings. Don't worry. We'll get through this. We always do.
Такие дела.
So the elusive man really believes he can control Reapers. Husks are one thing, but a whole fleet? The man is insane.
Ну да, это странно. Так, ладно. Теперь давайте полетим по первому дополнению. С ним мы всегда успеем набалакаться. Но пока что полетим по первому дополнению, который, по-моему, было первым, хотя не факт. Это доктор ну как ее звать-то?
The Alliance has issued warnings about Sanctuary. Cerberus bastards. Horizon was my home.
Just tell me you're going to take Cerberus down.
Шепард молодец, она прям вдохновляет. Мать твою за ногу. Да вы, блин, издеваетесь. Я знаю, что они новые тут появлялись. В принципе... Нет, я не пойду туда. В принципе, я вам скажу, я больше не хочу ковырять. Хотите, ковыряйте самостоятельно. Я, может, где-нибудь сохранялки смогу скинуть вам. Но мне просто уже настолько вломяру это все делать. Так, доктор Брайсон. Чего не долетаю? Так, нам, насколько я помню, ну, как бы позвонила доктор Брайсон, такая тетенька. И она хочет узнать, что случилось с ее отцом. И мы должны выяснить это.
want you to match this against all known locations and update the map. Then
Пардон?
contact the field team for
Походу,
a
я все
progress
перепутала.
report.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Commander Shepard, we've been expecting you. Just a moment. And Hadley, could you gather the Leviathan data for us?
Да, новые сведения какая-то.
Apologies, Commander. The rest of my team is out investigating leads right now. I'm Dr. Garrett Bryson, and this is Task Force Aurora.
What's your assignment?
Our mandate is to investigate legends, rumors, old stories about the Reapers before anyone knew they existed.
That's an interesting goal, but is anyone doubting the Reapers exist these days?
The Alliance is still desperate for intelligence. Reaper motives, their operational tactics. Anything that can give us an edge.
And how did you wind up in charge?
When the rest of the galaxy says something doesn't exist, I take that as a chance to prove that it does.
So you're in it for the challenge.
For the truth. Even as late as 2148, humanity still thought aliens were a myth. That was within my lifetime. Once that myth was proven to be reality, our entire history changed.
Reapers were part of that reality, too.
But even they have a history, Commander. If we could just uncover it, there may be a weakness we can exploit.
Ну, кстати, он прав. Если мы сможем найти эти места, то будет зашибись.
I could have used your help 3 years ago.
Yes. If people had paid more attention to your Prothean beacon, we might not be in this war. But now with new information we've uncovered, a breakthrough is near. Hadley, do you have the data?
No!
This is Commander Shepard. I need CSEC at my location, now!
You shouldn't be here. The darkness can't be breached.
Transit records show his name is Derek Hadley. He's worked here for a couple months.
Shepard, I monitored a CSEC alert from this location. Were you harmed?
I'm fine, but I could use your help sorting this out, Edie. Take a look through their files. I need to know what this task force was up to.
At once.
What? What's happening?
You tell me.
I was gathering our data when you arrived, and then it was dark. Cold. Like I was someplace else.
And then?
I don't know! A gun was in my hand. Dr. Bryson. There was a loud noise.
That was you shooting him.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me. You have to believe that.
So someone else pulled that trigger.
But I would never do that!
Commander, this does resemble reports of indoctrination.
Indoctrination? Me?
What about that Leviathan Bryson mentioned? How does that tie in?
It's some kind of creature. Our field teams have been tracking it. That artifact came in from our researcher, Garneau. He sent an audio log if you wanna...
What's wrong?
Turn back.
What are you talking about?
The darkness cannot be breached.
Damn it, get him over to the clinic. See if they can tell us what's wrong with him.
Yes, ma'am.
Commander, you'll want to see this. It's an outgoing message from Dr. Bryson to Admiral Hackett.
Dr. Bryson, you have an update? Admiral, the Leviathan of Dis that we've been investigating, I think we're really onto something. Give me the brief. About 20 years ago, the Batarians discovered a Reaper corpse that had died in battle. They covered it up and denied it ever existed. But I'm intrigued by the larger implication. What could have killed the Reaper in the first place? Exactly. That's the real Leviathan. It's worth pursuing. Continue your investigation and update me on the progress.
There is also a follow-up message from a few weeks later.
Admiral, the Reapers are shadowing my field teams as if they're hunting Leviathan themselves. Whatever it is, I believe Leviathan is nothing less than a Reaper killer. Almost an apex predator. And it has them nervous. If we could just find it, imagine the impact on the war. I'm formally requesting assistance in tracking it down. You'll have it. This is now your top priority, Doctor. Find that thing.
It appears we were meant to be that assistance.
Anything capable of killing a Reaper could do a lot of collateral damage.
Yet given the state of this conflict, I believe the saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," may be relevant.
But we won't know unless we can find it.
Bryson's assistant did say they recently received a log from their field researcher. It may yield more information.
This must be the artifact the assistant mentioned. And here's the log.
Dr. Bryson, it's Garneau. I'm sending you an artifact I found. About the only thing I found there, in fact. Maybe it's nothing, but I'd swear Leviathan came through here. I'm gonna crunch some numbers. Burn off the rest of this project travel allowance. Maybe I can project our Reaper Killer's movements. I'll check in when I get to the next site.
Garneau appears to be our best lead to track Leviathan, but he does not state a destination.
Let's focus on what he does say, then.
He mentioned extrapolating Leviathan's path.
And crunching numbers. He wasn't flying blind. He had data.
A significant amount of data, judging by this office.
So how do we narrow it down?
Bryson and his colleagues evidently used a galaxy map search program in their hunt for Leviathan. It may help us locate Garneau.
Так, понятно. Мы ищем Левиафана, который в состоянии в одиночку справиться с жнецом. Выше хищника. Чё? Прикольная вещь. Так, ладно. Галактическая карта. Активируем.
Does this tell us where Garneau went?
No.
Сейчас, секунду. Я хочу посмотреть наш уровень. 55-й, середина.
But we may be able to narrow down his location if we find clues he was using in his search for Leviathan.
Понятно. Нам нужно найти что-то, что согласно с ним.
Is this Prothean?
Yes. I believe Dr. Bryson and Liara would have had much to discuss.
Can you add a search filter for locations known to have Prothean ruins or artifacts?
Adding a search filter, you may examine the result from the galaxy map program.
Так, пока что следов мало. Что это, кстати?
These are all murders in which the accused lacked a known motive and claimed memory loss.
Just like Bryson's assistant. You think Garneau was following a trail of blackout crimes?
It is possible. We need to find data matching dates and locations for crimes of this nature.
Here's the time and date chart for the crimes. Can you filter for murders where the killer claimed memory loss?
Adding a search filter to the galaxy map.
Так, хорошо. У нас кораблик, с которого мы прилетели. Тут миленько. Цитадель, все дела. О, как. Обломок властелина.
Sovereign. Vanguard of our destruction. How's that working out for you, big guy?
Так. Могли здесь спокойно пройти, да. Динозавр какой-то.
Loch Ness Monster?
Plesiosaur.
Loch Ness Monster's more interesting.
Interesting and non-existent.
Какая-то ерунда. Что это? Ну-ка. Она дурманивает, понятно. Поэтому и...
Bryson was tracking unexplained creature sightings.
Так, и что это?
Bryson was not merely tracking sightings. He was attempting to extrapolate a course.
And Garneau could have been following that course. Edie, can you add a search filter for systems along that projected path?
Adding a search filter now.
Спасибо вам, постел. Какие-то камни.
Meteorite fragment, maybe?
He was studying it as an object of importance. We should look more closely at a sample.
Meteorite sample with traces of element 0. Would Leviathan need EZO?
While it is not consumed as fuel during FTL travel, element 0 will decay after several centuries of active use. If Leviathan is old enough, it would need to replenish its supplies.
Okay. Can you give me a search filter for locations with element 0?
Adding it now.
By Anne Bryson, age 9.
This does not seem relevant at the moment.
March 7th, 2186. I'm looking at the Rachni. Their movements during the Rachni Wars suggest alien influence. But the timing is wrong, and Rachni weren't implanted with Reaper tech. What if Leviathan was preparing the Rachni to fight the Reapers?
What do you think, Edie?
It is possible that Bryson's team is using ancient Rachni fleet activity to find Leviathan. If we can find data on the movement of ancient Rachni ships, it may help us narrow our search.
Sir, this is Bryson. We know the Reapers are after Leviathan. Studying Reaper hunting patterns could be vital to finding it.
That data is classified top secret, Dr. Bryson. If it falls into the wrong hands...
It won't. The data's encrypted. I'll keep the decryption key safe. Close to my heart.
Close to his heart. The hell does that mean?
The Reaper fleet activity is encrypted, per Bryson's statement in the log.
He said he was keeping the decryption key close to his heart.
Так, ладно, хорошо. Значит, нам нужно найти... Как тебе стоится в душе? Мило, мило. Я помню, смотрите сейчас. Давай. Нормально? Искупнемся. Ну, быстро сохнем. Допустим, close to the heart, я помню как-то.
Another piece of Anne Bryson's childhood art.
Wait a minute. Well, take a look at that.
I can use these numbers to construct a decryption key.
Alright, let's get back to the datapad we found earlier.
Dr. Bryson, per your request, I'm clearing Task Force Aurora for intercepted Batarian communications regarding the Leviathan of Dis.
Commander, the Dreadnought is in custody, but the Solarians may have surveillance footage. Our ambassador will issue a full denial. Give me a preliminary analysis. Several million years old at least, and its technology outstrips anything on the Council. Excellent. Our scientists will work day and night to bring its secrets to the hegemony. One concern, Commander. The real Leviathan of Dis, the thing that destroyed the ship, is still out there, unaccounted for. Irrelevant. The ship is our priority. And as far as the rest of the galaxy is concerned, there is no Leviathan of Dis. There never was.
Давайте попробуем расшифровать то, что мы нашли.
Decryption complete. Analyzing data. These movements do not match the standard invasion pattern. The Reapers are searching for something.
And I'll bet Garneau used this intel. Can you make a search filter for it?
Doing so now.
Так. Не знаю, давайте сделаем пару фильтров.
Element 0 deposits.
Based on the search results, Garneau is in one of these 5 systems. I have marked the Normandy map with possible locations. We can leave now, unless you wish to further narrow the search.
Встреча с
Alien sightings.
Three possibilities.
Ocean artifacts.
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
Reaper activity.
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
Blackout crimes.
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
Мне бесит эта голова, блин. Так. Знания об миграции. Где нам их надо быть?
Those appear to be sightings of ships that match Rachni's signatures.
Can you add a cross-reference for locations of sightings?
Of course.
Так, есть такая не срохнем. Так, куда же я запихну?
Rachni activity.
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
Что ж мы... Значит, осталось 3 системы. Нам нужно как-то вычислить последние. В идеале, в принципе, мы сможем и так потаскаться. По 3 системам это не так много. Но я попробую найти все. В прошлый раз у меня получилось, но я, вы убейте меня, не помню, что я там брал. Да и в ванне вряд ли тут что-то есть. Так. А хотя, знаете, давайте на этом закончим. Продолжим уже в следующей серии. Я тут потаскаюсь, может, найду что. Всего вам самого наилучшего и пока-пока.